Alright, your main event for UFC Fight Night Nashville, it is Swanson versus Artem Lobov. Um, this is an embarrassing fight for Swanson. It's really a lose-lose. If he wins, great. If he loses, it's more like a lose. If he wins, he doesn't gain anything, and if he loses, he has everything to lose. And if he loses, he loses everything. You know what I'm saying? It's a lose-lose for him in both scenarios. So, I mean, I respect him because Lobov was talking shit to him. Artem was talking mad shit to Swanson, and Swanson was like, you know what, let's go, motherfucker. And part of me respects that. Part of me respects that. Part of me also says, dude, why the fuck would you give him the time of day? And to all you Artem fans out there, I don't see it happening. I don't see it. Dude, your boy, let me look him up. I just want to give you the facts because facts do matter. Let me show you this, man. Hold on. Alright, I'm back. Sorry. I was reading some shit on Lobov. Something came up, like an article came up. I was like, what the fuck? But it was an article from a long time ago. So, let's just get back to what I was going to say. You look at, alright, since he came into the UFC, obviously a hard hitter and everything, we all know it. One thing why I didn't, honestly, I don't expect a lot out of Artem Lobov is because, look, his first fight, he comes back, is against Ryan Hall. Now, I'm not saying Ryan Hall is no slouch, but I'm just saying he trained, what did he train? Ryan Hall trained with him after the UFC was over because originally when the Ultimate Fighter ended, it was supposed to be Artem Lobov versus, I forgot his name. It was a black London dude from England, a black dude from England, from Manchester. I don't know that he was from Manchester. And the black guy was a beast. He's the one that beat Ryan Hall, and he like pretty much just stuffed all his takedowns. He wouldn't be able to take him down, and then that's how Ryan Hall lost. So Ryan Hall ended up going overseas, I think to Russia or Ireland, to train with Artem for his fight against that English dude. And Ryan Hall was teaching him all about his leg lock techniques, showing him everything that he does and everything. So they trained for about 3 months, I remember reading. And I was like, damn, Artem Lobov might become a fucking, not a wizard on the ground, but he might know how to defend takedowns and leg locks and all that shit. And then it turns out that the dude ended up lying on his passport. And the guy from Manchester, and he wasn't able to find in the finale, so they called Ryan Hall to fill in for him. And I was like, wow, this sucks. So he's been training him for so long, and I was thinking, all right, well, this can either go two ways. Either he learned everything from him and he got better, or Ryan Hall learned everything from Artem and he got better. And it just turned out, it was just a unanimous decision. And honestly, I remember watching the fight and it being the most boring fight I've ever seen in my life. And I was like, all right, well, I'll let Artem slide on that one. Ryan Hall is just a nasty jiu-jitsu guy, and like he pretty much just held him down the entire fight. All right, I'll let Artem slide on that. Then you go against Alan White, his return to featherweight. And I'm thinking heavy hands, Artem's going to knock this fool out. Doesn't do shit. He loses by unanimous decision. Okay. Then 2 losses in a row in the UFC, and you're going, all right, Chris Avila, a guy that's never fought in the UFC, fucking had never had a real fight in his fucking life like that to this caliber. Obviously, you know what I mean? To this caliber in the UFC, and you Artem Lobov, have fought twice in the UFC. You keep talking shit about American fighters that aren't in the UFC, are pretty much the B team. American European fighters that aren't in the UFC, they're like the A team. And I was like, okay, talking all this shit, right? And I was fucking with you. I was like, you're Conor McGregor's boy. I'm a Conor McGregor fan because I just like his antics. It's fucking hilarious. If he loses, he loses. I don't give a fuck. But I just love his antics. I don't give a fuck. So I'm like, all right, Artem, all that shit talking you've been doing, let's see what happens now. Chris Avila, a fucking skinny fucking you could have fucking whispered in his ear and he would have been flying out of the fucking room. You could have just fucking poked him with your index finger and he would have fucking been flying back. And you couldn't even fucking finish him. That's when I was like, are you fucking serious? You couldn't even finish Chris Avila, a guy that's never had a major fight in the UFC, and let alone, you were probably the best fight he's ever had in his life, and you couldn't finish him? And he's so young, I think, I believe he was like 21 at the time, barely. And this guy's all talking shit, trying to be like Nate Diaz. If I was Arnold, I would have been headhunting. He was talking so much shit, like he doesn't deserve to be in the ring with me, but I'm gonna beat his ass, whatever. And you win by unanimous decision. I was like, really, dog? And he's fucking horrible. The next fight he had in the UFC, Chris Avila lost again. He fucking sucked. All right, so I'm like, wow. All right. Then we go to Teruto Ishihara, Mr. Proud member of Teen Alpha Fail, Mr. I Love Bitches, Asian dude. So I'm thinking, all right, it's in his home country. Well, it's in his second home country of Ireland. I'm thinking he's gonna beat the shit. I'm like, all right, now the proof is in the pudding. This is 2 losses by decision, 1 win by unanimous decision. This is the time. All that shit talking that you're saying, I'm gonna fucking knock guys out. I'm gonna do all this shit, and then you come back against the fucking Asian guy. That's the skinny dude that fucking, once again, another Chris Avila, but just Asian, and you didn't knock him out. And you were talking shit on the Ultimate Fighter, knocking out all these guys, saying that you would do it in the UFC. Dude, the Ultimate Fighter, name one guy from your season that is good. Name one guy from your season that's tight. One of your guys is in the new Ultimate Fighter, that Medi guy. The Medi guy went back to the Ultimate Fighter for redemption. Like, no one in your Ultimate Fighter has stayed in the UFC or made something of themselves in the UFC. And the closest guy to make something out of himself... Hold on. Oh, shit. It's losing battery. Hold up. Alright. Lando Renata. I forget his name. Last fight. What was his name? Alright, cool. Oh, David Tamer. David Tamer. The one guy. He is the one saving your whole fucking season from showing you that no one in that pool was good. David Tamer is the only guy that's there that's good out of that whole season, and yet he's not even in the top 15 in lightweight. So when you come at me telling me, when you're talking all this shit on the Ultimate Fighter, knocking guys out who none of them on the American side even made it in the UFC, except Ryan Hall. I think Ryan Hall is the only guy that's in the UFC right now. I haven't seen the other guys. They all fucking sucked. And then you go back, two guys, one from the American team and one for the European team, are back in the redemption for this year's Ultimate Fighter. And then the American guy was a fucking alternate. He wasn't even fucking called back. He wasn't even one of the first people they called back for this shit. So, man, it's just like, you talk all this shit and the proof is not in the pudding, man. Your proof is not in the pudding. You haven't knocked out anyone in the UFC. You've had 2 of the easiest fights in your life that they pretty much give to you as wins with Chris Avila and Teruto Ishihara. Both of them fucking suck. Both of them come from shitty camps that I hate. I mean, I'm sorry, Team Alpha Fail. I fucking hate him being a Dominic Cruz guy, but I still respect them if they're good. Cody Garbrandt, mad respect. TJ Dillashaw, mad respect. But the proof is not in the pudding, man. And you think you're talking all this shit coming in that you're gonna KO Cub Swanson? Are you fucking kidding me? Let's look at Cub Swanson, Mister. See. And I'm a fan of Cub Swanson, but I'm gonna be honest with you. Every time Cub Swanson faces a top guy, he loses. Max Holloway, Frankie Edgar, Ricardo Lamas, Chad Mendes, Jose Aldo, all top 4 or 5 guys in the featherweight division, all losses. Who does he beat? The guys above him. Taseo Kawajiri. I don't know who that. His most impressive fight to this day, I don't think it's Jeremy Stephens. I don't think it's Dennis Hero. I don't think it's Dustin Poirier. I don't think so. Jeremy Stephens is my boy too, but I don't think his most impressive win is Jeremy Stephens. I think his most impressive win is Du Hoi Choi. Du Hoi Choi is an up and coming star. He had a lot of momentum. The only reason I don't think Jeremy Stephens is the most impressive win is because Jeremy Stephens is really like a roller coaster ride. He'll look like a top 5 contender, then he'll lose. And he's the same way as Cub Swanson. He loses against guys in the top 5, top 6. I love Jeremy Stephens. He's one of my favorite fighters. He's one of the most exciting fighters that I like in the featherweight division. The featherweight division is just as stacked as the lightweight division, in my opinion. So Du Hoi Choi is his most impressive win and his best fight. I mean, Jeremy Stephens, you can throw him in there, and that's it. Dennis Seaver isn't a great win. Charles Oliveira isn't a great win, no matter how much Joe Rogan tries to claim it is. I mean, yeah, those are his only 2 wins, but every time he faces a top 5 guy, he loses. So you mean to tell me he loses against the top 5 guys, but beats up and comers, and Artem's gonna come in and KO the dude? You're fucking crazy. Cub Swanson is going to destroy him. He's going to destroy him just how Du Hoi Choi thought he was going to beat the shit out of Cub Swanson. And Du Hoi Choi beats Artem 9 out of 10 times. They fight 10 times, Du Hoi Choi beats him 9. I'm giving Artem the respect that he'll catch him clean once. But Du Hoi Choi beats Artem 9 out of 10 times. Any guy that Cub Swanson lost to, beats Artem 10 out of 10 times. Jeremy Steven beats Artem 10 out of 10 times. And you mean to tell me that Artem's going to come in and beat Cub Swanson? I saw a dude on YouTube just said, dude, and all high as fuck talking to us, like predicting the fight, and was like, dude, Artem Lobov wins. Are you fucking serious? Why do you think that, bro? Oh, his boxing, he just has heavy hands. Did you not see Cub Swanson versus Du Hoi Choi? Du Hoi Choi just has a chin. You're not giving the respect to Du Hoi Choi having a chin. Cub Swanson he should have done any other guy in that division. That's a fucking KO. He KO'd Charles Oliveira, Ross Pearson. He KO'd Dennis Seaver. He's just KO'd people in the fucking UFC, while Artem hasn't KO'd one person in the UFC, and let alone to the KO. Artem Lobov has never KO'd a guy like Dennis Seaver, never KO'd Charles Oliveira, Ross Pearson, George Roop. If Artem had just KO'd Chris Avila and Teruto Ishihara, I would have believed something. I would have said there's substance to the hype of him, but there's no substance. There's nothing. He wins by unanimous decision. He's going to lose this time. The UFC is going to keep him just because he's Conor McGregor's water boy, and Conor McGregor is going to pull out his strings to keep him there. And this is an embarrassing fight for Artem. Part of me, it's an embarrassing fight for Artem. It's an embarrassing fight for Cub Swanson. Part of me respects the fact that Swanson will take on anyone who talks shit to him. I respect that about you, but in my head, I'm like, dude, you should have been fighting. You know who you should have been trying to go after, Cub? You know who you should have? You should have tried to go up against Ricardo Lamas, try to get that win back. He's the only guy available. Frankie Edwards fighting Yair Rodriguez. Anthony Pettis isn't in the division anymore. The Korean Zombie is just coming off a win. I mean, you could have even tried to go for the Korean Zombie, just be like, hey, can you do a quick turnaround? That would have been a more interesting fight. But I think, if anything, you should have just gone for Ricardo Lamas, avenge that loss. Ricardo Lamas, you could beat him 9 out of 10 times. The one time he did beat you was that 1 out of the 10. I think you could kill Ricardo Lamas, and if Yair Rodriguez beats Frankie Edgar, then you're automatically the number 1 contender, because Yair's not going to move up to second in the world, you know. But I have to respect the fact that he did beat that the fight that he did. He's like, you called me out, well, let's fight, motherfucker. I respect that about him, but in my opinion, there was better fights for Cub Swanson to take. This is just a lose-lose, and honestly, it's just, I don't know. This is just, honestly, it's like, it's a main event, and it's probably going to be just people throwing hands, and it's going to be a fun main event probably, but part of me is just kind of like, man, like, if you're a real fan, you're just going to be like, what the fuck is this? And if you're a casual fan and just see the highlights, you'll be like, damn, these motherfuckers KO people, but then you won't realize that Artem, like, last fucking 4 fights hasn't KO'd anyone, so, I mean, I guess, it's free TV, but once again, man, when people try to claim, oh, the UFC Fox cards are better than the pay-per-views, that's a bullshit lie. The main event just proves it. The only fight on this card that is really worth putting on a pay-per-view, and I'm going to be honest with you, Alan Aquenta, Diego Sanchez. Just because that's going to be a brawl, that should be the headliner. Every other fight, Hector Sandoval, Masvidal, I would see that in a pay-per-view. But I wouldn't see that in the main card. I wouldn't mind seeing that in the preliminary card on Fox. But any of these fights, pay-per-view material, and just even in the main card, any of these fights, pay-per-view material, no. Jake Ellenberg versus Mike Perry, not pay-per-view material. Joe Lozon, Steve Ray, not pay-per-view material. John Dawson, Eddie Winland, not pay-per-view material. If you're a real fan and you know about these fights, none of these are pay-per-view material. Cub Swanson, Artem Lobov doesn't even hit a pay-per-view. Alan Aquenta, Diego Sanchez is the bottom fight of a pay-per-view. If that, or they headline the preliminary card of a pay-per-view. None of these are pay-per-view material. So when people come over here saying, "Oh, these UFC Fox cards are better than the main cards for a lot of things," dude, are you shitting me? Look at UFC 211. That's a pay-per-view. You go back to UFC 210, which was just recently passed. Dude, even the Stephen Wonderboy Thompson versus T. Woodley, man. That card was actually, dude, you mean to tell me Lando Venado versus David Tamer wasn't a fun fight? Are you fucking high? The fights were good. It was just the main event fucked everything up. And it's gonna suck if everything is good in this card and the main event just fucks everything up. And that's what I think is going to happen. I think Alan Aquenta is just going to be UFC 210. The co-main event is going to save the main event. Just like UFC 210. So, That's my opinion on the fight. You tell me what you think. If you're an Artem Lobov fan who thinks he's gonna win, man, fucking props to you. And if you're really a fan, dude, I guarantee you to go bet, because I mean, if your boy wins, you're looking for every dollar you put down, you're gaining $4.90 back. So if you just bet $1, you'll get $4.90 back. I mean, you'll win $4.90. Cub Swanson is a favored minus 680. You've got to be shitting me. So that means you have to put down $6.80 before you can make $1 back. That's ridiculous, man. This is a decent card for a hardcore fan. If you're a normal fan, this isn't a great card. For hardcore fans, you'll watch it. Let me put it that way. You'll watch it, but let's hope that I eat my own words and this ends up becoming a great card, because at the end of the day, all I care about is a great fucking card for people, or just entertainment. So hopefully I eat my words and it just becomes an entertaining card. But I will come back to you guys tomorrow when all this is done, and I'll just give you my brief thoughts on what happened. I'm not going to break it down. I'm just going to more like, oh shit, that fight was beast, that fight was that. You know what I mean? Not breaking it down, because at the same time, I don't want to break down everything. I'm a fan just like everyone else. So I'll enjoy the fights.